Fuck! Don't worry, honey. I won't let him hurt you. Just let go of her. She's got nothing to do with this. I got him in my sight. One shot. Don't do this, Kane! Tell him to let her go. Trust me. Kane, I'm sorry. I'm moving in! No! No! You're lying! Easy, Lynch. You're not gonna hurt her. I'll fucking kill you all!
Kane Lynch 2's visuals are spectacular and really help to drive the game forward, leaving you waiting with bated breath at the thought of what the next environment has to offer. Additionally, the firepower in Kane Lynch 2 is varied, brutal, and constantly being mixed up as you progress through the levels. Although it never strays from your typical third-person shooter, shotgun, pistol, and machine gun formula, some of the later guns really give you a feeling of empowerment that is well built through the game, which has you using the weaker weapons early on. The story, although brief, is the driving force behind the player's motivation. The story is about revenge, and then getting revenge for revenge before getting revenge for that revenge as well. Revenge. It's easy to get drawn into Kane Lynch's intense visuals, visceral action, and fast-paced, albeit shallow narrative. Get to place A, and then get the hell out of place A, and get to place B, and repeat. The game features an array of detailed environments that all look wonderful in conjunction with the game's unique visual style, as well as some interesting, brutal, and tortured characters who you want to learn more about. The game immediately offers you heart-stoppingly intense battles where you are ludicrously outnumbered and just fighting for survival. In the initial levels of the game, this is an enjoyable experience, but it gradually becomes obvious that this is all the game has to offer, leaving you tired of the same old, same old. Make no mistake though, it's extremely satisfying each time you take out an enemy and watch them appropriately flop to the floor using the game's somewhat stunted physics engine. And blasting the hell out of every environment you stumble across really adds to the intensity of the battles, and adds a welcome level of realism. This illusion, however, is shattered when you fall victim to the game's shoddy cover mechanics and occasionally cheap AI. More often than not, you'll find yourself being killed by an enemy who is right next to you, and thanks to the game's deliberately shaky camera, it becomes almost impossible to aim in time to take them out before they kill you, which leads to a lot of frustrating deaths. Ultimately, Kane Lynch 2 is a game that you're going to want to like a lot more than you actually do. Its visuals do a great job of providing an intense and documentary-like atmosphere, but behind its innovative aesthetics lie a third-rate shooter that feels oddly out of place in 2010. With a cover system that fails to work a third of the time and no variety whatsoever to the gameplay, it becomes more a test of endurance than a thrilling, action-packed experience. And with the game clocking in at around 4 or 5 hours, and still not being fresh enough to hold your interest even for such a short amount of time, Kane Lynch 2 feels more like a shoddy tech demo than a full-length game. While there is certainly fun to be had here, the bare-bones single-player experience alone is simply not enough to warrant a full-price purchase. Kane Lynch 2 is by no means a bad game, but the novelty of the spectacular firefights wears off before the game's climax and gives the player no real incentive to come back. Unless you're a particularly big fan of the first game's multiplayer, which is back here, then I can't advise this game as anything more than a rental.
Dan W. 5, 4, 7